Saint Kabir says, Prema piyala jo piye, Shisha dakshina deya, Lobhi shisha na de sake, Naam prema kale. He says, if somebody wishes to drink the cup of divine love, that person has to be willing to give his head as an offering. And the lobhi, one who is worldly attached and greedy for the world, cannot give the head. He merely talks about love. In other words, love requires that kind of sacrifice. And that kind of sacrifice requires tremendous faith in the knowledge. Otherwise, why will we start giving? It goes against our mentality, right? There was one businessman. This is an Indian joke. There are different business communities in India, so it's about one person from one business community. I'll not take the name. So he fell into the water. And one person from the bank, he was screaming because this fellow was bobbing up and down. He said, "Give me your hand, give me your hand." The businessman was not willing to give his hand. So he said, "What's the matter? Which community is from?" He's from that community. Acha, acha, acha. Take my hand. Immediately the businessman grabbed it. Right? So take. We will always do it. Give. My God, why should I give? I'll suffer such a big loss. So giving requires greater faith in the knowledge, because nobody wants to suffer a loss. But the problem out here is that it is in giving that we receive. If we wish to receive the gift of divine love, we have to learn this first step, which is giving. This goes against our thinking. And this is what God and Guru teach us. They teach us to learn how to give, not because they need anything, because we need to learn how to give. There's a very favorite story of mine. I discovered it in the Gitanjali. The Gitanjali was written by Rabindranath Tagore, for which he won the Nobel Prize, I think in the 1917 or something like that, right? So, this is a very beautiful story. He says, there was this beggar who used to go around begging. And he would be miserable, unhappy. One day he saw the chariot of the King of Kings coming. He said, "I'm so fortunate today. I'm seeing the King of Kings. I can't believe it. Is this a dream or is it real?" He pinched himself. Oh, it's actually real. Now he started daydreaming. What if the King of Kings were to come here? And he would say, "Oh beggar, what do you want?" So he started making a mental list. Number 1, I want this. Number 2, I want this. Number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. His luck was really good. That chariot turned his way. He saw it's coming. I've never been so lucky in my life. The chariot came right in front of him and it stopped. He said, "Now what's going on?" He thought, just the outside chance that the King of Kings asks me, "What do you want?" Let me revise my list. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Again, his luck was pretty good. The King of Kings came down he stood in front of the beggar. And the beggar closed his eyes. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Now he is going to tell me, oh beggar, what do you want? So the beggar, the king of kings, when he saw that the beggar has opened his eyes, he put his hand in front of him. He said, oh beggar, can you give me something? The beggar said, what's going on? Ulti Ganga beh rahi hai. The Ganges has reversed out here. What happened to my list of 10 things? His intellect failed him. All he could think of was he put his hand in his gunny bag and he found one grain out there. So he placed that grain in the hand of the king of kings. Now the king of kings went away with that. And the beggar's confusion knew no bounds. He went home totally confused. I came so close to this ocean and yet I'm thirsty. What was all this about? When he reached home, he opened his gunny bag and he found there a grain of gold. Now he realized, ye chakkar tha. This was the matter. That one grain I gave to the king of kings, I got a grain of gold. My intellect was all wrong. I missed this golden chance. If only I had done Purna Samarpan, complete surrender, everything would have turned into gold. So similarly, if we wish to receive the gift of divine love, we have to learn giving, because divine love does not mean to take from God. Divine love means to give to Him. So that kind of devotion, the first 3 categories of people cannot do until they move ahead. So Shree Krishna says, Arjun, they are not so dear to me. They are in the process of purification. But that jnani, who has become totally selfless and engages in devotion for my sake, that jnani is really dear to me. 18. Udara sarva evaite jnani tvatmaiva me matam Asthita sahi yuktatma Mamevannuttamam gatim. So Sri Krishna says that such jnanis, they are verily my own Atma, they are my own soul. See, God has got infinite qualities, but one of the qualities of God is He is the Bhakta Vatsal. In other words, His devotees who have true love for Him are very dear to Him. So He is Bhakta Vatsal. And even higher, Kripaluji Maharaj says this is the highest quality of God. What is that? Not only Bhakta Vatsal, He is Bhakta Vashya. What does Bhakta Vashya mean? Means He is under devotion. Although He is the Supreme, Shree Krishna said, Mattah parataram nanyat, there's nothing higher than me. And yet that devotion, pure love is higher than God. Because one who gets pure love, God becomes enslaved by that devotee. So that is what Sri Krishna tells here, Arjun, such kinds of devotees who are engaging in my devotion with knowledge, unmotivated, seeking from me neither bhukti nor mukti, neither worldly gain nor liberation. Such devotees I consider to be my Atma, my own soul, and they consider me to be their Atma. Such a wonderful relationship of love gets established between God and the devotee. 19. Bahunam janmanam ante Jnanavan mam prapadyate Vasudeva sarvamiti Samahatma sudurlabha. So having talked about how those in knowledge who engage in devotion are very dear to him, now he says, Arjun, after many, many births of cultivating knowledge, when a soul really comes to understand that I am everything and everything is related to me, that fortunate soul then surrenders to me. In other words, knowledge is not the ultimate realization. Knowledge leads to surrender. Jnanavan mam prapadyate. This also refutes the thinking of many people who believe that devotion is an intermediate thing. You engage in devotion just to cleanse the heart, but later on you will just be in knowledge. Shree Krishna reverses the sequence. He says, Arjun, the person who is really in knowledge after many births surrenders to me. And there are so many examples of this in history. There is the example of Uddhav. So Uddhav was a man of deep knowledge. He was supposed to be the avatar of Brihaspati. And he used to cultivate knowledge. He would worship the formless manifestation of God in the mood of non-duality, aham brahmasmi. And he was a very good friend of Shree Krishna. So Shree Krishna thought, my own friend is worshipping the formless and is following the path of Gyan, and the personal form of God has descended in the world. So what will people say in future? So he thought he has to bring Uddhav to devotion. So how to bring Uddhav to devotion? He thought, let me bring him to the devotees. And when he sees the situation of the devotees, their realization, he will automatically be influenced and he will surrender. So he sent Uddhav to Vrindavan. Now, if he had told Uddhav, go and get divine love from the gopis, Uddhav would never have gone. Because Uddhav was a jnani. You see, if you think you are a jnani, a person of knowledge, then your thirst for knowledge finishes. The thirst for knowledge is in somebody who thinks I am an ajnani. I have got no knowledge. So Uddhav was a jnani, so Shree Krishna played a move. He said, Uddhav, can you go and give knowledge to the gopis? So Uddhav went in that understanding that he has to give knowledge to the gopis. So it's a long incident, all that happened. You people you heard of that incident before? Okay, it's a very sweet incident. You want me to go into the details?
Yes. Absolutely.
You see, what happened was that Uddhav, he started going from Mathura to Vrindavan. It was 12 kilometers. He was walking along the river Yamuna. And he was finding that from all the houses of the residents of Braj, one little stream is coming and meeting the Yamuna. So Uddhav was wondering, what is this streams coming out from all the houses? So he asked one Brajbasi, can you please guide me the way to the house of Yashoda and Nand Baba, the parents of Shree Krishna? So one Brajbasi said, this stream, which is the bigger one, you walk alongside. And the house from where it begins, that is the house of Mother Yashoda. So Uddhav casually started walking alongside the stream without realizing what he was doing. When he reached the palace of Nand and Yashoda, he looked in from the main door and he just kept looking because he saw the secret why the stream had got created. Nand Baba and Mother Yashoda was sitting there and crying for Krishna. Because he had told them, I am going to Mathura, I'll be back in 2 days. So they had full faith he will come back. They used to get up in the morning in the hope, all right, today he will come back. They used to keep waiting till evening and then be dejected. He did not come today, never mind, he will come tomorrow. So the tears of love that would constantly flow from their eyes had created the stream, and the same was the reason behind the streams from the other houses. Uddhav said, what kind of hearts do they have? So soft, I am a dry jnani. So he went and he passed on Shree Krishna's message to Mother Yashoda.